Now then guys, welcome back to the George Scaife LFC channel and the first match preview of the year. This is what you can expect all the way through the season on this channel. Match reactions, previews, live streams. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a video. It's going to be a big season this, so I hope you're all strapped in and ready. We're going to look at that Crystal Palace game, the Community Shield, which I'm, to be honest with you, not too big on. I don't think it's, certainly not a trophy. I hate when people say, we've won the treble and you've won the, the Carabao Cup, the Community Shield and a pack of biscuits. It doesn't count at all, but it is basically an extended pre-season game. It's a glorified pre-season friendly for me, but let's go through the team nonetheless. In terms of keepers, and by the way, this is our squad depth planner, which in my previous video I've spoken about. In goal, I don't know if Mohamed plays, I don't know if Alisson's back, I think he is, and I think he's in training, and I think he'll play if he is available. If not, Mohamed comes in and it's not a problem, so don't get too tied down to the goalkeeping slot of this video. I think in the centre-back areas, if Van Dijk again, if he's fully fit, which I believe he's recovered from illness now, he starts along with his mate Konate. These will be the centre-back pairing all season, you'd like to think. I mean, it's getting quite close. I say quite close, it's not really. There's about a month left of the transfer window. If we sign Guehi, maybe he comes in instead of Konate, but for now, it's a very good pairing this, and it's a title-winning back three this, you know what I mean? So I've not got a problem at all. In your right side, I think definitely Frimpong. I think he starts here. I'm excited to see him actually play as a right back with these two next to him in pre-season. We've seen him play as a right winger quite a bit with maybe a Stevenson behind him, which isn't his primary position, right? I know he's a very effective player on the wing, but that is his bread and butter, right? He's a right back, he's a right wing back. I think seeing him used in here with this kind of back three, by the way, this will be Kirkes. Kirkes will start this game, and Robertson and Tsimikas drop to the bench. So you kind of got this back three here, which we've seen against teams like AC Milan in pre-season. However, you didn't have a full back three, firstly. You had a really fragmented side where Frimpong actually didn't have his first choice centre-back behind him. So it'd be interesting to see him, how good he can be with these great players around him. And it's just nice to see this team, that for me will play the majority of the Premier League season, start in the Community Shield. The only thing that is really different, I think, from maybe all the other games we're going to see in the season is McAllister. I don't think McAllister plays. I don't think Endo plays. Bajcetic obviously is injured. I don't think he plays. I don't think he's played enough minutes to play here. I expect him to start against Bournemouth in the first week of the season. So the argument, obviously because Gravenberch is suspended, right? So the argument is, well, hold on, McAllister's not played much, therefore he should play a lot of this Community Shield game. And I agree, he'll probably play half an hour at least. He'll definitely come off the bench. I've just not got him starting, especially as Gravenberch isn't playing against Bournemouth, right? He's suspended, so you kind of use his minutes best you can. He's played a lot of pre-season. He should be match fit. He should be ready. He's had a big break. So Gravenberch starts, midfield here, and he probably plays 90, given that he's not going to play in a week's time. I think it makes a lot of sense. I really want to see Naoni get involved. I think he could get involved. I don't know how that injury is. Obviously, he came off against Bilbao with that hamstring injury. Maybe it's significant, significant enough to keep him out here, but we'll keep him on the bench for now. Harvey Elliott, I don't know if he features. I mean, that applause the other day that he kind of gave around the game against Bilbao around the ground, the crowd also gave one back, so it seemed to me an indication that maybe he's leaving Liverpool. So we need to see where that lies, but I certainly don't think he starts. Maybe he comes on. Szoboszlai, I think, does start the game, and maybe Jones starts as well. However, I don't think it'll be a midfield three. I think it'll be a two, like we've seen all pre-season, and I'm actually really excited to see this two in kind of together. We saw the exact same two against Bilbao in that second game. Szoboszlai dropping into these areas. Gravenberch kind of with the legs of Szoboszlai next to him really helped him out in there. And then Florian Wirtz starts in front of them. And I think for me, that is the 4-2-3-1. That is your 4-3-3 in essence. You've got a balance of everything there. Creativity with Wirtz and Szoboszlai. Legs with Szoboszlai. Wirtz also ability to press. Gravenberch, them kind of long legs, ability to kind of put out fires with his interceptions. He's so great at reading the game. So I think here you've got a really great balance there, and I'm excited to see how we fare without McAllister. I think it's been so evident in pre-season that we miss him. When he's not playing, you've not got that natural ball progressor kind of through the phases, or through the, phases, yeah. McAllister's the one who does that, so is Jones as well, and without either of them on the pitch, yes, Szoboszlai's great at kind of driving with the ball at his feet, dribbling-wise, but in terms of a progressive passer in here, I don't think we've really got an unbelievable one. I think we've got unbelievable other attributes, of course. And I think Wirtz actually could be that guy who comes deeper to receive the ball and maybe goes wide, because we saw that against Bilbao, and I was really impressed by how deep he was coming to receive the ball. This is a man who obviously, I mean, I would as well if I was as good as Wirtz. He obviously backs himself, like he wants to get involved. He wants always to get on the ball. And how common is that with these amazing players? They just want to have an impact. They just have to get on the ball. Look at Hazard at Chelsea. Like, he was coming back here to receive the ball, running through. He knew he's the best player on the pitch. He knew he wants to get on the ball more. Maybe Wirtz ain't our best player, but you probably think he's certainly one of them, right? He's coming in at least with that status. And I believe the shirt sales, he sold the most shirts. Which even though it's a new signing, record signing, I get it. I still thought Salah would sell more shirts worldwide. Maybe the worldwide figures are different. Maybe that was just a UK one, which I get, but it's Mo Salah, right? Interesting. Speaking of Salah, I think he starts the game off the right, of course. He's had a really underrated pre-season, in my opinion. He only scored, He scored against Bilbao. Did he score previously? I've entirely forgotten. Not an amazing pre-season in terms of numbers, but performance-wise, I think he's been very good. His kind of creativity is really shining through. His passing display against at least two of the games, but certainly that last Bilbao game was just excellent. The vision, the kind of runs from Gakpo, who I think, by the way, starts this game, them kind of runs to the back post from Gakpo. You've got this kind of second phase Liverpool go into now, where you've got almost like a three. Kanata comes across Van Dijk, Kirkes plays as your left centre-back. You've got a 2, you've got your 1, and then, well, obviously Jadon Dance doesn't play, and Ekitike plays this game. We'll talk more about him in a second. Everyone kind of shifts across. You've got this kind of 3-2-4-1 shape, which we've played in every pre-season game, whether it be Wirtz up here, whether it be Nunes up here. That's how it's looked. And this, obviously, pivot here has changed. Would it be Naoni or be Endo or be whoever. The only difference is, in the second phase, we kind of do something like this. It's more of a defensive box. It's like a box midfield, right? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's almost like you got your box here. So Szoboszlai can cover, Gravenberch can go into this space, and Kirkes likes to get forward and reach a final destination, ultimately, of the opposition's half, or final third, you should say. So it's something like this, and this kind of pass that, what about Salah, right? That little pass that Salah can do there is so dangerous, not just for Gakpo, but for Kirkes, who can get forward. How many goals last year did he contribute to Bournemouth? In these scenarios here, he put a great ball into, I believe it was for David Brooks, was it against Everton? It was, I think, goal of the month at the time. It was a really overrated goal, by the way, but it was goal of the month anyway. He put a great ball in against Newcastle, comes off the top of my head. He wants to go and impact the game, Kirkes. He's not come to Liverpool to hold down the left centre-back role. Believe me, he's going to get forward. Maybe at the expense of a counter-attack, but I think Szoboszlai's got the legs to cover it. I think Gravenberch is smart enough to cover it. Both these centre-halves are quick defenders, in my opinion. You've got one of the fastest players in the world on this right-hand side here, covering this space. This really nice relationship we've seen between Frimpong and Salah in that Bilbao game, I really enjoyed seeing. We've also seen a similar thing with Bradley and Salah, this kind of interchanging. In my opinion, when we're kind of shaping up like, when we're shaping up like this 3-2-4-1, it's been really different seeing Frimpong and Bradley for me, how they want to impact the game. Bradley, let's just say, where is Connor? What's his number? Number 12 now. Yeah, number 12. Here it is. Connor Bradley likes to play in here, and maybe Salah will play there a lot of the time, right? And then Salah's obviously wider. That means he's got more room to play these passes. Maybe he's again getting not as close to the goal, but I like this because it offers a bit of depth in there. And Bradley's very physical, right? He wants to get involved. He's also good enough for me to play in these areas. Maybe better than Frimpong. I think Frimpong, obviously, his best attribute is his pace. He wants to, therefore, get as wide as he can. So when Frimpong and Salah play, Frimpong's the guy kind of going on the counter, right? On the overlap, sorry. But he's not limited to that. These two are not limited to those positions. We've seen a lot of this interchanging at times, and I'm really liking it. Obviously, it must be pretty confusing for a defender. Also just pretty hard. Like, you've got two ultimately just fast players there. One of them's the best player in the world. The other one's got a lot to prove. I think it makes for a really nice balance. And on this side as well, we're seeing a similar thing. Wirtz coming a bit more to the left, Gakpo playing inside. Maybe less so compared to this side here. Wirtz is mainly coming deeper, and Gakpo tucking in, and then leaves room for Kirkes. It works so well, in my opinion. It verts so well. Anyone? No? You can laugh once this year. Come on, I can say it once. And then Bradley's not up front. And then Ekitike plays up here. Interesting, his first, I guess his first game at Wembley, right? Simply. Which is a big moment for him, I guess. I think he'll have a lot of pressure on his shoulders. Yes and no, right? One, he's coming for 80 million euros. Of course there's pressure on his shoulders. And he's leading the line. Like, there's no more pressure on the pitch than that position right there. Maybe there's less pressure because Nunes has gone, so there's not really that guy kind of backing you up saying, like Engamo, as we'll talk about in a minute, You know how Ngamoa backs up Gakpo? It's like, if you're Gakpo, you've got this 16-year-old lad here who's hungry, who wants to prove, breathing down your neck. Like, if you have a bad game, Gakpo, you can't have many because he'll take your place. But if, for example, like Ekitike has a bad game here, he's not going to get dropped for the Bournemouth game or the game after or the game after. Like, he's pretty secure right now because Nunes has gone, and also, well, he's the only striker, right? I don't think Dan's would ever come in. I mean, it'd have to go seriously wrong for Ekitike for Dan's to come in, or for Wirtz to go up front, or like Chiesa to go up front, or Doak. Like, he's got such security in this position right now. If Isak signs, I mean, it's literally the opposite, right? He's gone from one end of the spectrum for starting every week to the other side, which maybe he's been forced out onto the left, maybe he's been dropped altogether. Like, we don't know where his role actually would be if Isak signs, which I think actually it's been quite quiet, the Isak rumours recently. There's a lot of talk about him being told to stay, not wanting to, being told to. That's for me how we set up against Palace. Substitution, sorry. McAllister plays, I think. I'll say no to Naoni because I assume he ain't fit. Jones for me comes on. I think you could expect a Szoboszlai to be rotated here because he'll play against Bournemouth likely. So maybe a second half team you could look at. Let's move him over there. Maybe a McAllister comes on. You look at maybe Van Dijk or Konate, we'll say. No, we'll say Van Dijk because obviously he had that the illness, sorry. Maybe Endo fills in here. Maybe you have something like this where Konate moves into the middle. I think one of him or Van Dijk will play the full 90. Not sure, is there extra time in Community Shield? I don't even know the rules anymore. Hopefully not. I didn't just get it over with, to be honest with you. I think Gakpo will be substituted off for Ngamoa. I think there could be a world in which I don't think I think he's had a Bradley won't be playing, I'm pretty sure. If he is playing, of course, he comes on second half. I've read that he isn't. And then maybe Elliot. I don't know. I just feel like that was the last game for Elliot, and I feel like the reception was so strong that maybe he doesn't play here. Maybe he does. I don't know. That's my thoughts anyway. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Let me know your score prediction as well. I will be live for this game. There'll be a live watch along on this channel. Make sure you subscribe and turn the notifications on so you do not miss that, because I'm predicting a big game. I'm thinking a 3-1 Liverpool. Maybe 2-1. Let's go 2-0. 2-0 Liverpool. Clean sheet, please. All the best. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and see you later. Bye.